Hey folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Wednesday, August 26th, 2009. Well, folks, we are seeing a minor lower day on Wall Street here, very, very minor, and most of it just very recently in this little dip we have gone to the negative side. We've really been hovering on the flat line most of the day. After a small gap down, we had a good surge to the upside into some major resistance. Then we floated back down and have kind of been going sideways until this little bit of a dip here. You can see it on your intraday chart ahead of you here on my screen as you guys are paying attention to this video. What you can see here is we're having a little bit of a downdraft that has taken the Dow down about 15, 16 points on the day. NASDAQ is lower by 8 and the S&P 500 is down about 3. So a very, very minor down day on Wall Street, but this all comes back to really what's going on out there. Something that I pointed out to my premium subscribers last night in the research center was that over the last 2 days, the interesting thing that we've been seeing is that the market has been gapping up and then selling off most of the rest of the day, closing near or at the lows. As you can see right here, I'll scan back to just show you. Here was Monday, right here, you moved up into about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then you sold off the rest of the day. Tuesday, you had a pop, pullback, pop, and then the rest of the day was a sell-off. Today, you actually gapped lower, but then rallied to the positive side, and then since then, we've actually come back down. So I'm curious to see if this market decides to really sell off towards the end of the day again, and really how does that shape up? Do we see that kind of activity continue here, where we sell off and kind of close near the lows of the day? Now, some key levels that we talked about. First of all, the key level of 103.15 has been an essential level on a closing basis for this market. Really, you're looking for a close above it or below it as being a key catalyst for either direction. A close above it could mean that this market is headed higher. A close below it definitely should tell us that the market could be headed lower. Right now, we are trading below that level at about 102.75 on the SPY. Again, the SPY, for those of you that are new to these videos, tells us of the S&P, generally charts the S&P 500. Now, as you can see, we're continuing to sell. You're going to come into a little bit of support right here. I'm going to draw in a little bit of a minor level. This should be a minor level here. The big level you're going to watch is this low of the day. Now, we have these levels on the charts from yesterday to our premium subscribers, even days before that. This 102 had been notified to them all, and they could have been a buyer right here on that level. Sure enough, look at the move up off of that level. 102.50 will remain support. After that, you're going to deal with the 200 moving average here, which is currently sitting at 102.35, and that will continue to inch higher. And then you're going to look for the 102 level on the downside. That 102 level will also be a very, very important level on this market. Right now, this is support, though. Right here, you are into a minor, and I repeat, minor level of support right now. If we break that, look for the 102.50 level to be the next spot. That will be double bottom from the lows of today. And if you look back a couple days, it really was the lows of the day over here. Now, the interesting thing about today's market on a technical side is that you had a nice gap down here, or a small gap down, a little bit of selling into that 102.50 level, and then a shot higher on new home sales. Home sales came out, and they were actually pretty nice. But again, the question is, how much are these new home sales really a phantom number based off of, 8,000 credit that the government's giving? You have all these little credits or incentives out there. What happens when those expire? Will you continue to see growth in the housing market on the buy side? That's really going to be the big question. But the market did initially react very positively to it, and what you can see is a move up right here to this trend line, which is that green trend line at 103.15 plus this lower trend line right here in yellow sloping up. And then what the key was here, and we isolated this level by taking the high from yesterday to the pivot high and then drawing that line down. And you can see there was a little bit of a wedge there developing. That higher level will be resistance, and was resistance there. And sure enough, look at the market right into that level and then starts to retrace back down. So we isolated the low and the high today beautifully for our premium members, both in the research center and in the chat room, and they were able to trade off of that beautifully. Right here being a buy, right here obviously being a sell, and then you can short it right down here. And again, you can look for this lower level. But again, just notice you guys are getting this live as I do this, so I'm calling out levels here to give you guys a sense of what we do. But you can just see I just called out minor support, and look at this. You're starting to get a little bit of a bounce off the minor support level, and that's really all you're talking about there. That's really all you're seeing and what you really want to be seeing. So very, very important here in regards to this. All right. So again, a couple other things to look at now. What you're going to want to see is whether the market can close back above this 103.15 or on this 103.15 level or above, or do we close back below? If you close below the 102.50 level, that would be very significant on a closing basis, and you then look to get below the 200 moving average. Very, very important stuff here, guys, all right? We will continue to watch and notify those premium guys in it as well. Now, a couple other things I just want to point out. First of all, Vonage, VG, folks, hit a high of $2.63 today. A few months ago, we highlighted that as a hidden gems play. Our hidden gems, which are part of the research center, have an outlook of 6 months. All right, 6 months we find these hidden gem plays, small caps that have really not been discovered by the markets, but we feel there's an unbelievable amount of value in them. Sure enough, from 43 cents to $2.63, that is a 500% return. 500%, folks. 500% from where we mentioned it to the high today. That is an unbelievable return for those of you guys out there that are in the research center and held on to that Vonage. It's a beautiful move. I do think it's probably done in the near term after hitting 263 today, and probably will come back under $2 in the not too distant future. The other issue is we have another play on the charts here. The hidden gems from this month is actually having a fantastic day, up as much as 15 to 20%. This is the chart of the hidden gems from the month of August. We put one out every month, and I just want to show you again, these are hidden gems. We find these. I do this personally myself. I go out at my small cap. I love finding small caps. They are my passion. I've become famous for finding small caps. You guys can ask the guys in the chat room as well as in the research center. We find these. You can see them running today just alone. Look at that move up on the USEG. Beautiful small cap. I think that does have more upside in it, but nonetheless, a fantastic move from where we mentioned it. We mentioned it and gave it to our subscribers, premium guys, at $2.10. It hit a high of 260. That's 50-cent move in a matter of a couple weeks here. Today, having a big, big move on that to the upside. And again, I do think there is some more upside very possible on that. It's just a matter of whether or not this market rolls over or not, or stays decently strong in the next few weeks. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. In addition, the hot charts and alerts, we nailed the Capital One. Capital One was probably the most recent call in there, except I did post some stuff last night that I think is big. But Capital One we called out as a short at 37 to 37.50. It got upgraded a few days ago, and sure enough, upgraded right into that level of short, and it never looked back and just fell. So it shows you right here. Here's your 37 to 37.50. This was our area we highlighted in the hot charts and alerts, which is also part of the research center. And sure enough, as a shorting opportunity, we called it out, and look at that. Since then, has come all the way back to close to $36. In fact, it was as low as $35.50 today, $35.65 right here, but off of that, obviously, a bouncing opportunity. But nonetheless, that continues to be a great asset to the research center. And there's just tons of stuff in there for $49.99 a month to utilize and make. You could probably make 100 times, even more, 1,000 times just what it costs per month if you utilize it correctly. And that's all about utilizing it correctly and understanding it. But nonetheless, let's go back to the spiders. Let's see what's going on here. You can see the bounce pausing, market pausing on top of this light support. If that starts to break down, you're going to watch for 102.50, as I stated, then this 200 moving average, then 102. On the upside, if you recapture this small level, there's a minor level here at 102.95. If you recapture that, then you're going to look for this level at 103.15. A break of that will yield this upper resistance level and the 50 moving average at 103.30, which will be good resistance as well. Volume in the afternoon session right now is very, very light. This morning's volume was actually solid. Again, we had durable goods at 8:30 this morning. They were kind of neutral at best. We had the new home sales at 10 o'clock. We had oil inventories. Oil is getting slaughtered here again. One thing about oil, folks, called it as a negative bias, a downside bias a few days ago, and since then it's dropped $4 on oil. Another call that went out to our premium subscribers in the research center, as well as gold being on the negative and a positive bias on the dollar, and the dollar having a fantastic day today. Look at that move on the dollar from yesterday after we called that as a positive bias on the dollar. So again, just like a plethora of calls covering all areas, all sectors in that research center. We do encourage you to come join it's a no-brainer. To be honest, it's just a flat-out no-brainer. Come and check it out. We hope to have you soon. Also, come join the chat room. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.